Hello and welcome to this last session of today's event. I'm really happy you managed to join this parallel masterclass about the Power Apps low-code, no-code applications. I also happy that I managed to change my location where I'm working and also suit up. This is also something I was missing out lately. So yeah, but let's move on. Today we will talk about Power Apps, low-code, no-code applications, but before that let me introduce myself. My name is Māris Miezītis. I'm a partner and consultant at Digital Mind, working more than 16 years in this company and participated in more than 100 different projects, various domains, starting from document management, enterprise management, and lately on also RPA, or robotic process automation. As you heard in a previous presentation by my colleague Gat, this RPA is a really hot topic right now, and also now our daily focus. So those projects mainly in the big industries like banking, insurance, and production companies. So I have a wide experience with different sets of processes and systems in complex built-up organizations. So and also with the different technologies. So but today I will focus mostly on Microsoft Power Platform, which is a rather new technology, and about the Power Platform, about the capabilities, how can you leverage from that in your organization. But before that, I will repeat the slide that my colleague also mentioned, this urgency and the topic itself. So about the challenges we actually are facing and will face in the couple of years in the future. So one the topic is we know that the wages are growing faster than the productivity, and this is something we already facing. But another one, which is I think more important, is a dramatic drop of labor force in the next 10 to 15 years, meaning that for every two people leaving the labor market, which are currently in age groups 50 to 65, there will be only one replacing them. These numbers are from the Baltics, so you can see in each country how dramatic this impact will be. And there are solutions that can help to slow down or reduce the impact of this. One is RPA, my colleague Guts already talked about, and another is low code or no code. Low code and no code is a hot topic right now and very trendy. And according to the Forbes magazine, this is a trend of 2021. But actually, according to another research, Fortune 500, top 500 companies, 97% of those companies are already having low-code or no-code applications or development inside the company. And according to the Forbes magazine article, in 3 to 5 years' time, 65% of development will be done internally, in-house, by low-code, no-code applications, and meaning that you don't have to find very experienced IT developers. You can do something to deliver a result to your business faster by using these capabilities of low-code, no-code, that your power users can become developers. And it's really fast. So in today's masterclass, I will be presenting how easy it is to create a simple application, a simple tool just to start with. And those will be simplified examples. So you can understand the capabilities and the wide range of tool sets that are included in the Power Platform. There are a lot of low-code, no-code solutions across the market, but one of the most popular is Microsoft Power Platform. And there are like 4 pillars in that one. The Power BI is not that new, actually, already for several years in the market. And if you haven't yet started using it, most probably you have heard of it. This is a business analytics tool which helps you visualize reports, data from the company, inside the company, through the various channels. It is even its mobile app or some other dashboard in the platform. Powerapps is an application development framework where you can easily, by dragging and dropping fields, building up applications. So before that, you need to hire external company that are developing mobile applications. You will wait for weeks, even months, to get the simple application just for internal use. But with the Powerapps, you can create an application easy by a couple of clicks inside the organization and publish it across your employees. And you don't have to think about the iOS versions or Android versions or anything else. It's just one application that is like a business application distributed through the Powerapps tools. Power Automate is a very wide topic under the Power Platform. It includes a lot of cloud flows, pre-built connectors. There are more than 400 connectors with the external applications, and of course, definitely Microsoft internal tools that are under the Microsoft umbrella. But also lately Microsoft acquired Win Automation tool from Softomotive, which is a complete RPA tool. So now the Power Automate is a full cycle automation tool. You can build not only simple workflows, but also RPA solutions on that platform as well. Power Virtual Agents, self-explanatory. This is, as we call them, chatbots. And the main idea about those four pillars is that they work together pretty well. So you can have application where you have a button or anything else that triggers a Power Automate flow. You can talk with the chatbot that triggers also a flow in the background. You can get data from Power BI, and all those tools are connected to each other very easily. So today I'm going to talk about three examples. One will be a simple out-of-the-box solution from Power Platforms, how to build a simple application, just to give you the insight and the idea how that works. Another one will be invoice processing, which will be, I will show you how to train the AI tools with your specific invoice forms. And the third one I will tell you about, this is an out-of-the-box solution we have prepared for local Latvian tax system reporting. So let's jump in. This is a demonstration of how to build the application. In this case, I will create a solution where in the app you can scan or make a photo of a receipt. Then the AI builder or the tool in the background will get the information or retrieve the data, recognize the data from the receipt according to confidence score, or how confident the intelligent robot is that the information is correct. You can get the value, and based on that you can later on build a workflow. For instance, if all the values are 100%, then you can definitely post those data in your ERP system, send by email to anyone else, and so on, so on. In case if it's below some specific data, you can start like some internal approval or manual. You can involve some employees in that process. So in this case, I'm creating an application from the template that is already included in the tool set. In this case, this is the window of application which you will have, and there's already predefined module which allows me to upload picture or take a picture of the receipt. So I'm just making it bigger so you can take a picture and see that invoice in the application. Then I would like to have a table that is retrieving data from the invoice lines, all the amounts, invoice items, etc. So in this case, I'm referring to the model above, which is this application which is connected to the picture. And it's already in the background retrieving data, is it invoice number, date, and so on, and that I can easily add to the table below. In this case, I will use only name and total price. So I can see how does this application work. Actually, at this point, I already have the first version of application which I can test and see how it works manually in the building application. So I don't need actually to start using it from my mobile application so just one click, and I see the version how it will look on my mobile device. So I already have some receipts gathered from the internet. I uploaded one receipt, and in a couple of seconds I see that application did recognize those items with exact amounts. So meaning that this AI part works perfectly, so no questions there. Then I would like to change something in the application itself. I would like to change how it works, how it looks. But that presenting how easy it is to put data fields, text fields in the application, so it doesn't require the deep technical knowledge. It's pretty easy, just drag and drop, add field names, and so on. In this case, I'm adding application name on top of it, and changing the size of the window where I see the receipt, because I already know how it looks. I don't need to see that again in the mobile application. Actually, in the background, it will be in the full screen to the robot available to the AI part. But I would like to also add some additional fields. So I see the table about the information about those items, but I would like to see also some other information about the merchant, about this receipt, merchant, address if it's available on the receipt, date, and total amount. So in this case, I'm adding just a simple text label, merchant name. Next to that, I'm adding a text input field, and I will specify from where to take the information which should be represented in that field. So in this case, I have a text input field, and the system actually helps me to understand what is available already by analyzing this data. I will copy these fields, this field for 4 times, so I have for another one, so I don't have to click and drag and drop them again. I will copy them and rename for the next fields I need in this example. So the first one is the merchant name, and then, as I said, the system or application is helping me. I don't have to guess the technical names of those this information data set that I'm gathering. I just start typing. The system helps me out already by listing all the fields this tool did retrieve from the receipt. So in case address, I'm again referring to the model above, which is the recognition tool. And then just setting the merchant address from the list of available fields. While I'm doing this there are a lot of different fields and objects you can put in the mobile application. You can add buttons, you can add diagrams, icons, pictures, everything else you need, and you can build the application also deeper. In this case, I have just one, let's call it a landing page, and that's it, but I can build the logic underneath the application. And with Powerapps, you can also create web portals, which are not mobile apps, but portals which you can access through your browser. For instance, that are available for external users that are not internally your company users. I don't know, it's like some kind of a support portal, or help desk portal, where external parties are connecting and submitting their requests. And it's also that easy, the same as I'm building this application here. So now I'm adding the total amount, and that's it. So let's take a test. How does this getting information from the fields works? Not only the table, which I added as the first one, but also the merchant name, address, date, and the total amount. So as I can see, this data are extracted from the receipt and works pretty fine. But as you can see, there are some space missing, or there is too much text in the field. So I will make some formatting changes again, without any single line of code. I'm doing just by dragging and dropping, clicking and changing font size, field sizes, and everything else. So meaning that application can be built by any user. It's not more difficult than building something in Microsoft Excel or Word or PowerPoint. So I'm changing the field name, sizes of those fields, and how they are represented in the application. So this is more like a visual part, which is where I'm spending most of the time currently, and the functional part is already done. And as you can see, it took me only a couple of minutes to create such an application. And it will be the same for you if you will start for the first application, and meaning that the result from this first application can be used in multiple ways as you wish. You can build the solution on top of it that if the confidence score or how confident the robot is that the recognized information is correct. If it's above a specific certain percentage, then you can initiate next step, for instance, a workflow, or post the data in your ERP system, and so on. Here I'm saving the application, so you can see that how it works, that it's easy to build the application, save it, and even publish it to your colleagues to start using it. So meaning at this point, if every user in your organization does have the access to this tool, they can build their own applications and publish them to your colleagues. So it's not more like a specific person or a department. This can be done by any user. So here's the application I just created, and by opening it, this is how it would look in your mobile device. So let's test it. Let's run another test with another receipt example. Is it taking a picture or uploading from your mobile device? It's up to you. So as you can see, some data are extracted in the form represented, and if I'm satisfied with the result, I can click add a button that will continue the process into any other Power Platform tool. And let's take another test and see how it works. So wrapping up about the Power Apps. Easy to use. There are a lot of predefined templates that are connected. You can build up the data, build up the application by using data you have in the background, and you can use also different predefined modules or application parts that are represented here. And as I said at the beginning, you can also use those information blocks from other pillars like Power BI. You can have here some specific report or report part. So applications can work both ways, not only data as a data input, but also data output for certain processes. So the next part is about the Power Automate more and about the invoice recognition or the forms recognition. So as you know, there are the main challenge with the invoices is that there are still a lot of invoices coming into your organization in a paper format or in an electronic format, but your application cannot handle that document right away, and there are manual effort needed to process these data in the invoice. So this is a Power Flow part. Power Automate Flow part with a lot of different connectors, and here I'm just opening a Twitter, for instance, that you can see there are predefined templates. You can easily take and use them if you need them, for your business needs. For instance, you are interested in some specific Twitter term, or your company was mentioned on the Twitter. The flow you can have by one click will automatically notify you by email or post on Teams if you're responsible for that area, and so on. But in this case, I will work with the models or the Power Platform AI Builder part and the form processing, the invoice recognition part. And previously, many years ago, it was pretty difficult to implement OCR part. So how the documents will be recognized, who will create this solution, which field is invoice number, invoice date, and so on. A lot of programming behind that, and pretty heavy project, I would say. So in this case, there's an already predefined solution, how you can train the application, how you can upload examples, and based on the information in those examples, how you can create a new model that will work for you, starting from that point as you train the system. I will start with one model, and I know that I would like to extract from the invoices invoice number, which is definitely somewhere should be on the document, invoice date. Then I would like to see the total amount and also vendor. These 4 fields would be the minimum I'm looking for when I look on the invoice documents that I receive in any format, PDF, paper document, or any other. Then there's typically there is a table in the invoice items. And in our invoice items table, we know that there are certain columns like invoice item details, quantity, price, and total amount. So in this case, I will add some specific fields because I know which invoice documents I will be using. that are represented in that document. So I can show you how to train the system to recognize not only specific standalone fields in the document, but also a table, which can be more than 1 page long and so on. So as soon as I have created those fields I'm looking on in the invoice documents, I shall create a collection of documents, and here I can create multiple collections. And by collections I mean the format of document outline, how the document looks. In this case I'm using one specific document, one specific invoice from a specific vendor, from the hotel in Tallinn. And I'm uploading several different invoices from different dates. Minimum amount is 5 documents, so the system at least can understand how those different versions can look like. If you will have 20 invoices from one vendor, different invoices, the system will work even better. At this moment, system is training, like looking on those documents, finding the fields, recognizing the text information, numbers, and so on. And as soon as this analyzing is done, I will have a list of all my 5 documents I added to the system, and I will have to put manually which of these fields are number, vendor, date, and so on. So let's look how it works. This is the first of 5 documents. On the right side you can see 5 documents I have added to the system, and currently it's being analyzed still, and it's done. So I'm just selecting on the image document the part I would like to select. So this would be invoice number. I have a list of predefined fields I'm looking for. This will be invoice date, then total amount somewhere in the middle. Just selecting the number or text part or table, anything, and the system will understand that this I should look somewhere in that area in the document, or somewhere similar text. So it's up to the AI part. We're not like looking into how it works, but it's pretty impressive. And this is the table part. As you can see, the AI part recognized that there is a table in the document, and I am just selecting the columns and specifying which is a quantity, which is description, total amount, and so on. So now I will do the same for the rest documents. As you can see, the system already understood that where could be invoice number, invoice date, table, and so on. It was just difficult to understand the vendor name somewhere below. In some cases, if you are adding documents, which is a pretty standard format, you have to do this selecting only for the first one, and the system will automatically understand for the rest of those documents where invoice number, date, and so on is located. In this case, I'm repeating this vendor selection for each document. So the 5th document, I'm again selecting where is the vendor name. And by training, I have like created the data set for a specific invoice layout format. So in case if you have different vendors sending invoices with a similar format, you can use the same data set for both or multiple vendors. But as you know, mostly each vendor sends you those invoices in a specific format with their logo, with their layout, some additional fields, some additional information. But in some cases, there are some standard invoice forms that can be used for multiple organizations. So currently, the model is being trained. In the background, the information I manually added, those fields selected, this AI part is being trained, and it takes a couple of seconds or minutes based on the data set you provided. Either 5, 10, or 20 documents, it will be like a couple of seconds or minutes, as I mentioned. So as soon as the model is ready to launch, I will see here trained. That's it. So at this point, I can start using this model in other applications or other parts or other flow parts. So let's take a look on that. Take a quick test. How does it work? By uploading another one from the same vendor, but another one which was not included in the dataset I prepared. So it takes just a couple of seconds, as you can see, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 to 9 seconds, and I already have result of those fields that the system recognized. And as I can see, that the confidence number is 100, meaning that the AI part recognized all the information pretty well. The dataset was prepared very well. So now I'm publishing the model, and as soon as the model is published, I can start using it in my Power Apps. As you remember, the first demonstration I had, I can actually use this model in the Power application part. So not only scanning receipts, but also invoices. You can just receive invoice, take a picture, done. Upload to the application, and that's it. So I can use it in the app or in the flow. In this case, I will use a flow, so you can see a different solution, how it works. So it will be an on-click flow, where I'm manually uploading invoice, specifying the document type, and then getting back from the system email about the result, what was in that invoice. But as I mentioned at the beginning, you can connect here. There are more than 400 connectors available. If you have a Microsoft ERP solutions like Dynamics, then most probably you will find here a solution or connector that you can send those data from the invoices directly to your ERP system. You can send this data to Excel files and so on, multiple solutions. And if you don't find the connector here, you can always use RPA part, which is a Power Desktop Automate. Guts already talked about that in the previous part, where you can automate any application, any desktop application. So meaning you are sending this invoice to your to the AI part. All the magic happens there, then you get the data back, and then for instance, if the confidence score was pretty high, 80–90%, the RPA part can be initiated, and somewhere on the cloud or on your virtual machine, RPA part is initiated, and the robot opens up your ERP system and manually puts in the data in the exact fields where it's needed. So meaning this connects all the dots in your automation process. So here I'm creating just a simple email notification that a new invoice is received from this vendor with that number, and all this information, vendor name, number. This is actually what I mentioned, what I selected in the dataset building part. So I'm using those fields I just created at the beginning. So invoice number again. Selecting from the list, I don't have to put any single code line. As you can see, the process is already built, but I haven't yet used any code here. Just simply drag and drop, even not using very much keyboard. So a simple notification email, but as I mentioned, that email can be replaced by anything. Post on Teams, start the workflow in another application, post on your ERP system, or even trigger some RPA process that can automate the process on your at your end. I'm also attaching document the invoice to that email, so I can see the invoice itself. How does it look? So the document and the document name would be just the invoice PDF. Yeah, this is the flow, how the flow on cloud flows are built, but there are of course a lot of conditions. You can build a parallel flows, if conditions, loops, and so on. This is just a simplified process. And now let's take a look how does it work by testing the flow. I'm uploading another example from the same vendor, so we can see how does it work. And in this case, while testing, I can see how much time does it actually take to the AI part and the flow part to process this invoice. And this is actually live recorded, so it takes typically a couple of seconds for the document to be processed on the cloud part and to get back information. In total, it was like 30 seconds, and I got 13 seconds, yeah, and I got the result. So this is the email I just received with all information from the invoice. Invoice is attached to the document, and extracted information like invoice number, date, total amount is already included in that email body. So to conclude this part, you can build this data set by just training the system by putting in feeding your invoices. And it can be done not by technical user, it can be done by accountant even, but by the accountant. It doesn't require some technical knowledge. So let's move on to the third solution I mentioned. This is an out-of-the-box solution we have created with this RPA part, RPA Power Desktop Automate part. This is more currently focused on the Latvian tax system. It's pretty complex system, and this solution is focused mostly on the outsourced accounting companies with more than 20 legal entities under them that are serving, or the companies with more than 100 employees. In both cases, it's pretty complicated in the tax system to get all the information on your fingers, like pretty fast, and get the overall view on where your companies, if you're serving multiple companies, where they are with some tax debts or changes in the employee pool and everything else. So currently this out-of-the-box solution we have created, and we have multiple features already included. And it works like this: you're scheduling this workflow, this process to run on certain dates when it's important for you. It can be every Monday, it can be 15th date of each month, and getting a simple Excel report based on the information the robot gathered from the tax system. It can be also Power BI, but in this case we are starting with the Excel file. But later on, most probably we'll move to the Power BI, so the data are represented in a more fashionable way, let's call it like this. So currently we have a couple of features already included, which data we are gathering from this tax system, and preparing this report to be easy to understand the status of the system of the companies you are managing. And the benefits of this solution is that it's actually running on cloud and it's subscription based, so you don't have to invest anything in hardware, anything in licenses. It's just a simple subscription model, pay as you go. Quick implementation, you don't need to install anything on your devices, and constant improvements. We're planning to have constant improvements every month, adding new features, starting from getting additional information from the tax systems. So yeah, this is out-of-the-box solution, as we call it, RPA as a service. So it's no more local, full, big, complex solutions, but it can be also on the cloud. So that's it from my side about presenting these tools. Let's take a look on the Slido. Do we have any questions? What is the difference between Powerapps and RPA? Yep. Well, RPA is, let's start from the other part. RPA, or robotic process automation, is a typical tool that actually repeats user actions. You're training click by click whether you're doing in your application, and the robot will repeat that step by step. So robot will work as a digital workforce for you. By Powerapps, you're creating applications that will be distributed to your colleagues, your clients, your customers, you name it. And by creating application, in the background there could be RPA part that is running and doing or gathering some information from other systems. But in general, RPA part is a virtual workforce or virtual employees. Power Applications or Powerapps is a tool set or a way of building applications, a framework, how to do that without deep technical knowledge and just a bit of low code, no code. As you saw in my examples, I didn't write a single line of code, but those solutions are pretty impressive. If I would see those solutions like 10 years ago, I would be shocked how easy it is. So let me take a look. Do we have any other questions? What is the closest future in Latvia, Powerapps or RPA? I would say both, because with the Microsoft Power Automate, the best thing is that if you already have in your in-house Microsoft tools like Dynamics 365, Office 365, then actually you already have some parts of the Power Platform. Meaning you can build already some flows and even apps on top of that by using the data or parts from your existing applications. And that is included actually in your license set you already have in the organization. About the RPA, it's pretty, it was difficult a year ago, 2 years ago to come in the organizations and explain the concept, and people actually are afraid from the robots, but at the end of the day, you understand that there are a lot of repetitive actions you are doing, and that doesn't make any effort and any value, and you can focus mostly on value-added activities and do give those value non-added activities to robots. So do we have any other questions? No. So yeah, wrapping up, Power Automate or Power Platform itself, I think it's a future. No code, low code. It's not a future, it's already a present day topic. It's not a trend, it's actually happening. And it's a matter of time if you are already doing this or just planning to start. Let's switch back to the another stream, to the first masterclass room, where we'll have final words from the parallel stream and then final words from Zygmunt as our moderator. So thank you very much. I hope to see you somewhere.